It was just another night on TV. The crowd was laughing, the lights were bright, and the famous comedian Jon Stewart was back on The Daily Show. Everything seemed normal until he said something that made everyone stop and stare. He looked at the camera with his usual smirk and said, "Meghan Markle, she's like a mini Brigitte Macron, great at putting her man in his place." The audience burst into laughter, but that one joke? It did more than just make people laugh. It flipped the internet upside down. So who's Brigitte Macron? She's the First Lady of France and is much older than her husband, President Emmanuel Macron. Some people say she's very strict and even a bit controlling. There's a famous clip where she moves his hand away during a big public event. That tiny moment went viral. Now, imagine being compared to her on national TV. Meghan wasn't happy, and things were just getting started. Jon Stewart is not just any comedian. He's smart, respected, and not known for silly gossip or attacking celebrities. So when he made fun of Meghan, people took it seriously. He wasn't just being mean, he was making a point. Soon after the joke, social media exploded. People made memes, funny captions, and edited photos. Some even showed Prince Harry trying to hold Meghan's hand while she pushed him away, just like Brigitte did to her husband. Others wrote things like "boss babes" or "bossy babes." This moment changed how people saw Meghan Markle again. For years, she walked a fine line. Some saw her as a strong, brave woman standing up for herself, while others thought she was always trying too hard to control the story. Jon's joke shook that balance. Let's talk about Meghan's big podcast project, Confessions of a Female Founder. It was supposed to show how smart and thoughtful she is, but instead, people thought it was boring and fake. She asked soft questions, gave vague answers, and repeated lines like "thank you for asking" without saying much at all. Jon Stewart joked that the show was less about successful women and more about a woman who was just lost. That joke hit hard, but again, it wasn't mean for no reason. It was honest. Critics had already said the podcast felt too perfect, too clean, like it was trying too hard to be inspiring without saying anything real. After Jon Stewart made that joke, Meghan's team was panicking behind the scenes. According to reports, Meghan was furious. She thought the joke was unfair, mean, and even sexist. But outside of her circle, most people didn't feel the same way. They thought the joke was smart, funny, and most importantly, true. You see, Meghan's brand has always been about power, kindness, and being misunderstood. She's often seen as a woman trying to do good, while the world makes it hard for her. But when someone like Jon Stewart, someone who's not a gossip host or a tabloid writer, makes fun of her, it feels different. He wasn't just trying to get laughs, he was showing people something deeper, that maybe Meghan's whole public image feels a little too perfect, a little too fake. Now let's talk about Prince Harry. Jon didn't just stop with Meghan, he also made fun of Harry, calling him an unemployed immigrant who gave up his home, his family, and now carries his wife's purse at events. Ouch! It was a quick joke, but it cut deep. Why? Because people recognized it. They've seen Harry quietly standing next to Meghan at red carpet events, not saying much, just nodding along. He used to be the brave prince who stepped away from royalty to protect his wife. But now, many see him as just a background character in Meghan's story. And in today's world, how you're seen in public matters a lot, especially if you're trying to build a brand based on being real. Here's where it gets tricky. Meghan and Harry left the royal family because they said they wanted to be authentic. They wanted to speak freely, live honestly, and not be trapped by royal rules. But the life they built outside the palace, it started to feel just as controlled. From their glossy Netflix shows, perfectly timed paparazzi photos, and that famous Oprah interview, everything seemed too polished, too planned. And when people feel like you're trying too hard to look perfect, they start looking for what's fake. That's what Jon Stewart's joke did. It cracked the surface. It made people laugh, but also made them think, wait a second, is Meghan really who she says she is? This wasn't just a regular celebrity gossip moment. It was a cultural shift when people start laughing at you, not because they hate you, but because they no longer believe you. That's a problem no PR team can fix, and that's exactly what Meghan is facing now. She's not being canceled. She's not being attacked. She's just slowly becoming less interesting. And in the world of fame, that's worse than being hated. Something strange is happening. After Jon Stewart made that joke, the internet didn't get mad. It got quiet, but not in a peaceful way, more like in a "we're done talking about this" kind of way. Clips from The Daily Show are still spreading online. People aren't fighting over them or defending Meghan like before. Instead, they're making memes, funny TikToks, and adding captions that go even further. It's not just critics dragging Meghan and Harry anymore, it's their own fans. And that kind of cold silence, it's not just a media moment, it's a warning. Meghan built her brand on being someone the world admired. She was the fresh voice, the modern princess, the brave outsider. People looked up to her, but now, every new project she does, a podcast, a charity event, a speech, feels scripted. Even when she shares something personal, people ask, is this real or is it part of the show? And Prince Harry, he's not escaping the spotlight either. His book Spare was supposed to show the real him, but many people thought it was more like a therapy session in print. Too much emotion, not enough purpose. So when Jon Stewart made that handbag joke, it worked because it painted a picture. And once people see that picture in their head, Harry holding a bag trailing behind, it's hard to unsee it. Meghan's team is trying hard to fix things. There are new projects being announced, new causes to support, and new interviews being planned. But something has changed. No matter how polished the rollout is, the public sees it differently now. Even a simple photo with her kids gets viewed as a PR moment. That's the danger when your image feels too controlled. People stop trusting it. And in today's world, trust matters more than ever. Let's be honest, Jon Stewart didn't destroy Meghan's public image with one joke, but he did something just as powerful. He held up a mirror and let the public decide what they saw. The laughter wasn't cruel, it was a release. People finally saying out loud what they've been thinking for a long time. That Meghan's story, as inspiring as it once was, doesn't feel real anymore. Meghan and Harry still have a chance. But it won't be easy. If they want people to care again, they need to drop the perfect image. They need to be real, not rehearsed, not polished, not pre-written. That means showing actual struggle, real success, and less of the brand and more of the person. Because here's the truth, in today's world, people don't connect with fairy tales anymore. They connect with flaws, with honesty, and with authentic stories. This isn't just about Meghan or Harry. It's a lesson for all of us. We live in a time where image is everything, but too much image, too much control, it can backfire. Whether you're a celebrity, a content creator, or just someone trying to share your story, remember this: people don't want perfect, they want real. If you found this story interesting, or if it made you think a little differently, make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a story that breaks down what's really going on behind the headlines. Also, tell us in the comments, do you think Jon Stewart's joke went too far, or was it fair? We read every single one. Thanks for watching.